This is yoga sequence 2, and it's called Yoga for Your Warrior Soul, and it's making you feel the most powerful self you can be. Great, so we're initially just going to come into an easy seated position, one that's comfortable for you. If you want to place a block or a book beneath your bottoms just to lift your hips slightly off the floor, see how that feels. And just take a nice deep breath. So gently rolling the shoulders back and down so that we're keeping that chest nice and open. We're just going to take a few deep breaths, so we're bringing our awareness into that space in the belly. So expanding the belly on the in-breath and then drawing it back towards the spine on the exhale. So inhale, expand. And exhale, drawing it back towards the spine. And just see if you can just slightly tuck your chin in towards the chest so that you get a nice lengthening down the spine and the length of the neck. Breathing in, rolling the shoulders up towards the ears, and breathing out, pulling them back down so that you've got an extra bit of opening across the chest. Deep inhale. And exhale. And we're just going to do a breath exercise. It's called a pranayama, which is called breath of fire. So if you're seated on anything at this point, just move it away from the bottom so that you've got contact with the floor. And then we're just going to bring the fingertips to the pads of the hands. And then we're going to have the thumbs pointing up, and then bringing the arms up to 60 degrees. Nice, strong, straight arms. That's it. And as we breathe in, we're going to allow the tummy to expand, as we did with the breath before. But on the exhale, we're going to draw the belly sharply back towards the spine and allow the breath to come through the nose. So it's almost as if it's a bellowing action and pumping with the belly. So we'll start now. So breathe in, deep breath in, and breathing out. And you're just going at your own pace with the breath. Keep those arms nice and straight, thumbs strong and straight. So keep going. With this breath, we're firing up the system. So getting that abdomen area, that navel point activated, stimulating energy throughout the system. It's where the adrenal center is located, so it's really good for giving you that energy and drive. Just deepening that pumping action, just see if you can do it just for another few seconds. Deep inhale, push the fingers up towards the ceiling, opening up the palms of the hands so the fingers are spread wide. Bringing the palms up, straight up over the head. Take a nice deep inhale, stretching up. And as you exhale, we're going to swing the arms back down, coming resting onto your knees. Take a nice settling deep inhale and exhale here. Allowing the shoulders to soften again. Gently keeping that chin tucked in so that you've got maximum length across the length of the spine. And we're now going to do some spinal rotations, which is another way of awakening the spinal energy and getting your system fired up for a kriya. So we're going to move in circular motions, pushing away with the heel of the hand on the opposite knee. So we're really rotating the body as if we're grinding it down into the earth. So see if you can keep that inhale as you come forward and exhale as you pull the abdomen back to the spine. That's it, nice big circles. And if you want to deepen your practice, you can just keep your eyes closed, see how that feels for you. If it starts to make you feel dizzy, just keep them open, whatever works for you at this time. And on the next inhale at the center, we're going to go in the opposite direction. So pushing away with the opposite hand to start, rotating the hips down into the mat. And just notice any points of tension at this point and just breathe into it, just softening and relaxing into this posture. Deep inhale. Next time we come back up to center, take a deep inhale here. Soften the shoulders back and down again. And exhale. So just allowing yourself just to check in, just notice what's going on for you at this moment. If you sense any tension in the body, just breathe into that, just allow it to soften. Bringing your awareness deeper into your core. Breathe into the abdomen, take a nice deep breath. And exhale. And then we're going to come up to standing. So if you need to just swing your hands round to the mat and then slowly ease yourself back up into a standing position. So the feet are together and we're going to come into a mountain pose. So gently tuck in the pelvic area under so that the abdomen's nice and flat. We're going to breathe in, bring the arms up over the head. Just slightly bending backwards, so we're lengthening across the front of the body. And breathing out, bringing the hands into prayer pose at the chest. And then lowering them down towards the sides. And then just rotate the palms forwards and see how you feel in the opening across the chest, which is most comfortable for you, with the hands facing the body or rotated facing forwards. And then we're going to breathe in, raising the arms up over the head. And as we breathe out, we're going to bend the knees and come into a chair position. So slowly lowering the hips towards the floor. That's it, keep the arms nice and straight. Breathe in, straighten, lengthen, and breathe out. See if you can just soften into that pose just a little bit more. Keep that chest nice and elevated, facing forwards. Shoulders nicely tucked down so you're not compromising the neck. And then we're going to fold the hands down either towards the knees, the shins, or the floor. I'm going to breathe in, lifting the head up to look forwards. And breathing out, lowering the head down towards the knees. We'll do another one of those. So breathing in, lifting the head up. And breathing out, again lowering the chin towards the knees and just gently rocking across the soles of the feet to find your point of balance. Adjusting the hands if necessary. We're just going to slightly walk the hands forwards and we're going to drop the left leg back, stretching it out behind us, bringing the right leg to meet it. And we're going to gently lower slightly, bending the arms into a chaturanga. So drawing the elbows in towards the ribs, keeping those hips nice and straight. And then we're going to lower the knees, the hips, and the upper torso. We're going to swing slightly up into a cobra. So a little bit deeper now. See if you can breathe in here. And lengthen, keep that chin facing nice and forwards. Opening the chest by gently rolling the shoulders back and down. And then we're going to curl the toes under. We're going to swing up into a downward facing dog. So it's pushing back on the tips of the toes, pushing the hips up towards the ceiling. See if you can get the heels of the feet down towards the mat. You can either pedal out the feet, so do it 1 foot at a time. See if you can lengthen the muscles down the back of the leg, gently softening into the stretch. Push away with the heels of the hands so that the hips are really vertical up into the air. Take a nice deep breath. We're going to swing the left leg forward in between the hands. And then we're going to raise the arms up over the head. Breathing in, just slightly tucking down now. See if you can lengthen that back leg. If you need to adjust the feet, do so. Breathing in here, see if you can just reach up a little bit further. Keep the shoulders nicely back and down though. Breathing out, lowering the hands back down to the mat. Swinging that left leg back to meet the right leg. Lowering back down into a plank. Fantastic. And then bringing the knees, the hips to the mat. And gently rolling the upper body up into a cobra. So take a nice deep breath here. Make sure the hips have got engagement with the mat. Shoulders are back and down. Curling the toes under. Coming back into a downward dog. And again, just pedaling out the feet if you need to. Really push in, deepen this stretch. Now this is a second downward dog, so push away with the heels of the hands. See if you can get those hips up into the air, keeping that back nice and flat. And then we're going to swing the right leg in between the hands. Keeping the left leg nice and strong and straight. Breathing in, swinging the arms up in the air. Find your balance point. If you need to walk that front foot forward for a little bit more balance, do so. Fantastic. Deep breath here. See if you can just lift that chest, opening across the front. Exhale, lowering the hands back down to the mat. And then we're going to swing that right leg back to meet the left leg. Walking the heels away into a downward dog. See if you can get the hips nice and high this time, flattening the back. Super. And then we're just coming back down into a plank position, so slowly lowering the hips down towards the floor. And then gently allowing the knees first, then the hips. And then we're just going to lift up the chest. Facing forwards, chins parallel to the floor. Keep those hips firmly planted. We're going to come back into a downward dog, swinging your toes under, pushing back on the heels. And then we're going to walk the feet forwards to meet the hands. Taking a nice deep forward fold here, so breathing in, slightly lifting the head, and breathing out, lowering the chin towards the knees. Do that again, breathing in, lifting the head, and breathing out, easing down into that stretch. Again, adjusting the balance point on the feet if you need to, so you feel firm and steady. And then we're going to breathe in, raising the arms out to the sides. We come up to a standing position, slight back bend, opening up the front of the chest, and breathing out, bring the hands down into prayer pose. Just take a moment here. Just tuck that pelvic area in so that the tailbone's slightly tucked under. Shoulders are nicely rolled back and down, chin's tucked in. And then when you're ready, we're going to come down into a laying posture on the mat. So finding a comfortable position. That's it, easing yourself back onto the mat. And then we're just going to raise the right leg and cross it over the left leg, holding it with the left hand. So you're gently elevating and then lowering. See if you can get that right knee down towards the mat. That's it. Keep that right shoulder firmly planted. See if you can open up the arm a little bit, swing the right arm outwards and see if that makes a little bit more contact with the mat. Fantastic. And then you want to look over towards your right hand. So feel that stretch all along the right side of the body. Breathe in nice and deep. See if you can soften on the exhale that right shoulder down towards the mat just a little bit more. Breathing in, swing that leg back up. We're going to do the opposite side. Keeping the right leg straight, we're going to swing the left leg over, grabbing it with the right hand, pulling that knee down towards the floor and allowing the left hand to open up across the front of the chest, allowing that opening all down the left side of the body and the chest area. Keeping your head slightly turned towards that left hand. Take a nice deep breath here, and on the exhale, see if you can soften that knee further to the floor. Notice that stretch across the hips and the lower back. And then breathing in, come back. That's it, lowering both legs down to the mat. You're going to bring your right knee in towards your chest and grabbing it with your both hands. And then we're going to swing that hip open. So taking hold of the knee with the right hand, you're going to pull that right hip open, keeping the left leg nicely stretched and planted along the mat. Take a nice deep inhale here. And exhale, drawing that leg back in towards the body and allowing it to fall down towards the mat. We'll take the opposite leg. So drawing the knee in towards the chest, opening up the hip flexors, allowing that knee to fall down softly to the surface beneath. Deep inhale, and on the exhale, see if you can soften that knee just a little bit further down towards the mat. And then drawing them back into center, allowing both legs out in front. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale here. And then we're going to draw both knees in towards the chest. And we're going to rock from side to side. So just massaging all that lower back area. Brilliant. And then if you just thread your hands through your knees, through the legs, and grab hold of the feet. So threading the hands in between the legs themselves. Sit on the insides of the knees. So swinging the feet up into the air. I'm going to grab hold of the toes. Let's try swinging the hands onto the insides of the feet. That's it. Grabbing the toes, pushing the heels up into the air. So really stretching out along the length of the leg. And then drawing the knees in towards the chest, keeping the hands where they are. Just going to rock from side to side. This is happy baby pose. And then drawing the soles of the feet together now. We're just going to lower them down towards the mat. So we're lowering the feet to the mat, allowing the knees to fall open. Allowing the wrists to fall open against the floor, so palms facing upwards, wrists rotated. Shoulders nice and soft down towards the mat. So we've got maximum opening across the chest. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, and see if you can soften the hips and the spine towards the mat just a little bit further. Allow those knees to soften and make contact with the mat if they can. Just noticing a bit more opening across the hips with each exhale. Keep the chin slightly tucked in towards the chest, so we've got a nice lengthening across the back of the neck. Deep inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, we're going to bring the knees in towards the chest again, so giving them a hug. And then we're going to rock along the full length of the spine. Just a few times, just to waken up the body again. And then coming back into a seated position, swinging the legs round. So finding a comfortable cross-legged position for you. And we're just going to breathe in, raising the shoulders up towards the ears, and breathing out, opening across the chest. Keeping that chin slightly tucked. And we're going to bring the right hand down to the side of our body. And we're going to raise the left hand over and do a side stretch. Soften into it on the exhale. Breathing in, coming back up. And we'll go the opposite side. Fantastic, coming back up to sitting. Just finding a comfortable, easy place for you to sit. Just relax just for a moment. Becoming aware again of the flow of the breath. The rise of the abdomen on the inhale. And the contraction, pulling the abdomen back to the spine on the exhale. And again, remembering to try and open up across the chest, keep those shoulders soft and down. And then just bring your awareness to that point between your eyebrows now with the breath. Just allow any thoughts just to dissolve away. This is your time to be centered and aligned. And when you're ready, gently opening your eyes, bringing your hands together at heart center. We're going to breathe in, raising the hands over the head, and breathing out, lowering them down to the floor. Allowing the forehead to soften. Take a big inhale and exhale here. Just noticing the lengthening across the full length of the spine. Softening the hips a little bit deeper to down towards the mat. And then coming back up into a seated position when you're ready. Thank you.